welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You see the thumbnail. I'm not going to waste any of your time. A lot of people have been talking about it, reacting to it. And unless you've been sleeping under a rock, I'm late getting to it, actually. John Mara pretty much gave the vote of confidence to Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Pretty much said that they don't have to worry about getting fired or any changes being made, before the 2025 season. And he also said that he doesn't see them making any changes for the 2025 season as well. So right now, there's a sense of calm for Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. And for John Mara just to come out and say this, I'm pretty sure he was either, or I should say somebody was probably in his ear about what the temperature in the room was in social media and sports media talking about Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, and he pretty much took the pressure off of them. There was a hot seat, and John Mara just poured cold water on the hot seat. That's pretty much what I get from this. And depending on how you feel about this situation, about how you feel about Joe Schoen or feel about Brian Daboll, your reaction to what John Mara said could be different. I'll share with you my opinion. Actually, I have two different opinions on it. So the good thing for Brian Daboll in this situation and Joe Schoen in this situation is that it takes that pressure off. Like the pressure that they're feeling right now to perform and win games, it takes a little bit of pressure off of them as far as still being able to have a job. So that helps because now the coach can sit back, take a deep breath, and now operate as a head coach without all the additional pressure being added. For Joe Schoen, to me, who seems like a guy that was hidden for a while, I couldn't wait to see him at the bye week and talk and answer for some of the moves that he made and stuff like that. But it looks like he'll be able to skate through that too. Be able to, answer the questions he wants to answer and then olay the rest of the questions that he doesn't want to answer, because right now John Mara just let it be known that these guys are safe. So to me, that also means that for Daniel Jones, I think Daniel Jones is done. The writing on the wall is there for that, unless something spectacular happens or he does something spectacular. But I believe ultimately that Daniel Jones is done and that Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen get to pick their own quarterback. And we'll see what happens, how the draft shakes up, the draft order shakes up moving forward. But for me, again, the good thing for the coaches and for the GM is that they get to continue to be here. They get to continue to operate the New York Giants organization the way that they see fit. Daboll coaching, Joe Schoen managing, or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here like they dodged the bullet. They absolutely dodged the bullet, but it still doesn't mean anything, because at the end of the day, for Brian Daboll at least, he still has to win games. I do believe that Joe Schoen is safer than Brian Daboll. I will say that. I do think he's safer. I don't think it's foolproof, though. I can't see the New York Giants losing to like Carolina Panthers or, going 0-6 in the division and Brian Daboll still having a job. That's going to be a push for me. It's way too early in the season for John Mara, in my opinion, to make that kind of statement, but I do understand why he did it. But I also know that this is the same John Mara that has changed his mind before when pressured by the fans. So, again, how do you feel about the situation? Me personally, I was already kind of out on Brian Daboll. I had a lot of question marks on how he ran the team, in-game decisions, management, team management, roster management. That has a lot to do with Joe Schoen too. But there was a lot of question marks. And even though I believe that this is probably the strongest draft class from Joe Schoen, you still had two other draft classes that you're not getting peak performance from. And for me, it's just like with all the misses with the offensive line, being okay with the quarterback room, being okay with the depth at offensive line, especially at the swing tackle position, knowing what you were getting into. To me, it's just a lot of malpractice going on, but they still get a chance to move forward. In 2025, we'll wait to see what happens when we get there. But right now, it looks like they're going to be able to pick their own quarterback. And that's going to be exciting. Hopefully they're on the same page. Hopefully they have the same vision. Hopefully their working relationship is still good. Because for a while there, it seemed like these two guys that seemed to be good friends, one was going to go and one was going to stay. And I was wondering who was going to do, who was going to throw who under the bus first. That's probably what I was going to say, because Daniel Jones has already been thrown under the bus. But now it looks like that same Daniel Jones is going to save both Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen moving forward. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, again, by the end of the season. But that's just my quick thoughts, man. That's just my quick thoughts on what John Mara said. The vote of confidence, pretty much saying these guys are safe. And, he doesn't want to make the same mistakes he made in the past by moving on from people too fast and showing that the organization is not stable. I will say this to that. I do understand that you want to show that you are stable as an organization. Again, this is a treasured organization when it comes to the NFL. But being scared to move on because of perception and holding on to guys that might be the wrong guys because of perception might ultimately be a mistake as well. But again, I'm just a fan on YouTube sharing my opinion about the team that I love. And I do love this team, and I'm riding with the decision that John Mara made. Also, I don't have a choice in the matter. I don't have a choice. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.